Alright, first thing in making a slab cup is to roll out a slab. Make sure that you check the thickness is as thin as the rulers. Apply your stamped pattern or your textured fabric. You also want to make sure that you've already cut out your template for your cup. We are using a 9-ounce Dixie paper cup for our demo today. So you want to go ahead and cut around your template with a needle tool. Make sure that when you are done, you take your extra clay and recycle it. Got a little piece of tape. Now you need to tape your template to your cup so that your clay does not stick to your cup. You're going to go ahead and take your slab, wrap it around your cup. Make sure that you do not cover the rim. You want your clay to be on the paper. Trim off if you have any more than about a ½ inch overhanging. Go ahead and score both sides. And then go ahead and add some slip. We're going to be doing a pressed seam instead of blending it because we don't want to get rid of our patterns. For my pressed seam, I'm going to add a little pattern using my thumbs and a tool. And then you can also clean up any extra slip that you have. So a pressed seam should have some sort of design on it. You can use any tool that you choose for your pressed seam. Now you want to make sure you go and blow dry that. Next, I'm going to roll out the base of my cup and my handle. Again, I'm going to apply my pattern. I'm going to use a stamp for my handle. Make sure when you're cutting your handle, you're using your rulers to get a nice straight edge. Your handle should be not much thicker than a finger or much wider than your finger. Use a sponge and smooth all your rough edges on your handle before shaping it. This will also wet the clay and keep it from cracking as you're bending it. And go ahead and get my cup, and I'm going to go ahead and check out the size of my handle, see if it's the right length or if I need to trim it. And I'm also going to go ahead and shape my handle. Once I find the shape that I like, I'm going to go ahead and put it onto a bat very carefully, trying to keep that same shape. I'm going to put the two ends against a ruler so I can make sure they have a flat end for when I slip and score them to my cup. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut out the bottom of my cup, tracing the clay and the cup. Go ahead and cut that out. And then I'm going to blow dry both of these to where they're leather hard before I put them on my cup. So I'm ready to go ahead and score the bottom onto my cup. I'm going to score both the bottom and score the cup as well. And then go ahead and add some slip to that. And then I'm going to turn the cup over and press it onto the bottom so that I don't end up bending the bottom. You want to make sure that you go ahead and blend that in. You need to blend the outside and also the inside with your blending tool. If you haven't already, you want to make sure that you blend that inside seam as well. So you can see on this cup I haven't done that yet. So you're going to use your blending tool to blend that seam. After you're done using the blending tool, use your finger, sponge, a little bit of water. You shouldn't be able to see that anymore. And then the next thing I'm going to do, my handle is dry, so I'm going to go ahead and size my handle. I'm going to place it on there, get it in the right spot, and then I'm going to take a needle tool and trace around where I want to slip and score that. That way I'm not scoring my patterns of my cup, I just want to score right where the handle's going to go. I'm also going to score my handle really well, just because these have both been dried a little bit, so I want to make sure that the handle stays on. Add some slip. When you're pressing the handle on, you only want to press where the handle's attaching, and put some pressure on the inside of the cup as well so you're not bending your cup. So I put my hand on the inside of the cup as I'm pressing that on. And then if you got any rough edges while you were doing that, you want to go ahead and blend your handle. Blend very little. I'm not blending the edges of my handle away. I don't want to blend away the pattern on my cup or the pattern on there. Smooth any blending marks with some water, your finger in some water when you're done. Also, I added a little pattern to my handle, so I'm going to go ahead and fix where I had rubbed that pattern off. Add a little bit more to the bottom. And then I want to go ahead and reinforce the top of my handle. The top is where it tends to crack, so sometimes adding a little piece of clay to the top, something decorative. So I'm going to roll a little coil, flatten the sides, and I'm going to use a little tool to put a little pattern into it. I'm going to slip and score the little coil, also the top of the cup and the handle where I'm going to attach it. using a little bit of slip. I do not have to blend this in as long as it is scored and slipped very well. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I press it in there well, touch up my patterns, and then add a little detail to the side of it as well. Just go ahead and check your cup when you're all done for any rough edges. And go ahead and make sure that you've added a pattern around the bottom as well, where you've blended the bottom on if you haven't done that already. Last thing you want to do is you want to thin the edge of your cup. It's really difficult to drink out of a thick cup, so you want to pinch that edge of the cup thinner, and then you're all done. Last thing you want to do is make sure that you add your name to the bottom. If it's too hard to add with the texture, go ahead and smooth out the texture a little bit, and then make sure you add your first and last name and period number.